I ate and I had a break, and now we're gonna do my nails. I have to take off what I currently have on my nails, and then we are going to be doing stamping with the Multichrome powders that I was testing with earlier. I have a couple of tests over black that I did not right now before I started streaming, and then one over like a dark gray. I'm liking the dark gray slightly more than the black because it's not quite as harsh, but we still get the pop of the pigment. So I think we're going to be using that instead of the black. And that is painted polish stamped in charcoal. And it's only one coat, so the base color will be done a little faster too. I won't have to do 2 coats. So let's leave that there. I'm going to zoom you out a little bit while I remove my stuff so that you can see my hand a little bit easier. Let's get some acetone on these cotton balls. I have my giant jug of acetone. It's the big gallon jug from Sally's, and I just kind of pour it into the lump of cotton so that they all are saturated. And then I use my clips to help me remove my polish faster with less rubbing around the skin. So we're just going to do one hand at a time. Put the cotton ball in, stick it on the finger. Okay, so the nail powders that we're using, if you weren't here earlier, are the What's Up Nails Multichrome powders, Ocean, Rainforest, Absinthe, Dragon, and Sunset. And we're going to be using them all to make this rainbow wiggly sort of a deal. My original thought was to do a different color on each nail, but I really like the way that they're looking all together. So that's what we're going to do. And apparently this Band-Aid really does not like acetone. Wow, look at that. It's one of those special skin type Band-Aids that's supposed to flex with your skin better, and so it's like near a knuckle, so I did, but it's totally disintegrating. It feels really weird too. It's really scoogey. Ugh, yuck. Okay, hang on. Let me get rid of this. It's just a hangnail under here. Not a hangnail, a paper cut. I keep doing that. So it's not like it has to be covered. It was just looking a little angry earlier, and so I was protecting it. But this Band-Aid is just a piece of crap when it comes to acetone involvement. And now my skin is all sticky. Ugh, yuck. I'm going to have to really scrub that finger once I have my other hand free. Ugh, I'm covered in fuzz. Gross. Okay. This is not like a glitter polish or anything, so it's not going to take super long to remove. It just is a little faster if I let it sit for a minute first. I almost bent this nail back earlier. I banged my thumb into something, and I can feel that my nail bed is a little bit tender underneath. It's not bent. My nail is apparently pretty strong, but it's sore under there a little. I gotta be nice to it. The sticky from the Band-Aid got on these other fingers too. And it does not feel very good. It's getting everywhere. I am never going to make the mistake of wearing that kind of band-aid while handling acetone again. I love those band-aids though, when I'm wearing them otherwise, because they really do flex well with the skin. And they allow greater, I don't know, it's not as thick as a regular band-aid, the edges stay down better. It doesn't feel as band-aidy. I'm just getting under the nail a little bit too, because the base coat, when I wrap the tips, needs to be able to adhere under there properly. Okay, I have some peeling on the tips of some of these nails that I caused when I peeled off some of my non-peel off polish a couple of weeks ago when I shouldn't have. But aside from that, these nails are looking pretty healthy and good. Let's get the other sticky off of here. Look at it. It's like trying to be part of my skin. It makes me very uncomfortable. Be gone with you. Oh, that extra sticky. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay. Let's get the clips on the other hand. Oops. Okay. Gotta get this flat. If I can get my thumb in there. Okay. Second hand. Waiting. Yeah, I do think that the gray is good because it's not as harsh. It has the effect of it over black, but it's not quite as harsh. Put that to the side. And when we're doing the stamping with this, we need to make sure that we're lining up the angles. We're going from lightest all the way to darkest. Not lightest, from the red color all the way through the purple color in rainbow order. So we want it to be going this way and line up with the stripes so that they don't get crooked. But of course, before we do the stamping, we have to do the base coat and the base color after we remove this. And we're not actually using the yellow stopper because, as we discovered, it makes everything stick to it, including the excess around the edges, and we don't want that. No thanks. And we're not using the water-based top coat because on our tests over here, the regular water-based top coat beat it up all weirdly. And we were able to get it to be opaque, but in the process we had to smear some of the stuff underneath, and I don't want that. And then we did some tests, or I did some tests with the matte water-based top coat and then the regular top coat, which looked fine, but slightly cloudier. And then this is just with regular top coat, and it did not mess up anything too badly. If it was like a true chrome powder that was like trying to go for like a platinum chrome silver mirror sheen sort of a thing, then I would say it probably would affect it. Other people have noticed that it affects it, but I have not. This ocean one is the least messily filled of all of the containers. Oh, the sunset one is second, and then the absinthe, and then these two have a bunch of excess that fell out around the edges. Alright, let's take these off and take off the polish. I really enjoyed that design. The one with the leaves that I had on last week. Thank you, Praise. Yes. I appreciate your lurk. Making sure we're getting all of the edges. I'm not leaving any pieces behind. The side of this finger is still sticky. You can see the shimmer really well as it's getting left behind on this nail. Do you see that? That was actually one of the tricky things about cleaning up the gold leaves on top of that base color. If you wanted to remove some with acetone instead of putting the green back over the top, you had to be careful, because if you removed the base color but left too much shimmer in that one spot, that nail stained more than the others. That's really weird. I wonder why. That's the nail that I had to redo, and I didn't wait for the base coat to dry as much. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, if you removed the base color without fully removing it all the way down and it left the shimmer behind, it made it have like a weird extra shimmery spot in the midst of the green. Okay, so after we remove this, we're going to do base coat, and then we're going to do the base color, and then we're going to do the stamping with these pretties over here. There's a big ol' shimmer particle that does not want to leave my cuticle line. Get out of there. My thumb got more stained too. Oh well, it's not like I'm wearing my nails naked. At least the sticky's gone too, off of my skin. Alright, so let's get our base coat. I'm using the Glisten Glow base coat because it is the bomb diggity. I love this base coat. It's better than all the other base coats I've tried. It is long lasting with me. I know everybody's body chemistry is different, and not everyone is going to get the same wear out of the same base coats, but this one really likes my way that my body is, I guess, and it doesn't want to let go. Keeps my nails on all week before I'm ready to change them again. And it's a little bit thicker than some base coats, and so it has a little bit of ridge filling capabilities as well, which is nice, especially as I said on these couple of nails where I made some peeling happen. That makes the peeling surface less uneven and helps it to be smooth. I think I'm slightly out of focus because I have my focus set down on the stamping plate. Sorry. Okay, we're going to wait for that to dry, and we're going to get the base coat obviously onto our second hand. By the time we're done with base coat on the second hand, it will be dry on the first hand, and we'll be ready for our base color. Making sure we're getting all the way down to the cuticle area, because we want good adhesion on that edge too, obviously, right? Edges are where lifting occurs the soonest. Cuticle edge, sidewall edge, free edge, any of the edges. My nails look so dry right after they've had acetone put on them before I moisturize again. But they won't at the end. Never you fear. There's a little fuzzy stuck in there. Hang on. I'm gotta get rid of that little thing. Get out of there. I think we're just gonna start the snail over again, because I don't think the evenness of the base coat will be satisfactory. There. Take two. I want to make sure my base coat's really well wrapped. Oh, I think I'm off too far this way. Sorry, guys. I want my base coat right to be wrapped so that the polish that gets wrapped is adhered as well. This is like not what you would do with a peel off base, because you want the polish that's underneath the nail to not have the peel off under it, because that will adhere it better than the peel off. But I do not want to peel off my polish. I want it to stay all week, and if I use peel off, I will not be satisfied with the wear. Okay. The longer my nails get, the more the C curve becomes pronounced. Especially on the ring nail. It starts to really be a decided curve. Brings the sides of my nails in a little bit. And on Colette's discard has nails that have a really strong C curve. That all of them do that to a more dramatic degree than mine. Making sure my base coat's not underneath everything. There. All of the dry skin there. Okay. So then we're going to go over here, and that's dry. So we're going to do our base color. We're doing Stamped In Charcoal from Painted Polish. It is a 1-coat dark gray and also is a stamping polish. It has a nice formula. It's not super thick, but it's also not super runny. It's able to be, I got a fuzzy. It's able to be painted on really nicely. Get out of there. No! And it has pretty good self-leveling. So even something like that is not going to ruin things. Obviously, we're going to clean that up a little better once it's dry. I just don't want it to stay, like if it's got super excess, I don't want it to stay on the skin. I never claimed to be a neat painter, but it'll look great at the end. Oh, sorry, I'm too far this way anyway. Okay. Sometimes when you wrap the tip, it can make a weird little lump. So painting over the tip again after you've wrapped it, I find, like normally I'll wrap the tip first before I do the whole nail, but sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes I'll just paint and then wrap and then go back over it if it's a polish I know will self-level and be able to handle it, like this one. Okay, that's looking good. You can see where the peeling has left a change in the level of my nail though. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more polish right there. Make the end of my coat a little thicker and help smooth that out. Of course, top coat will change that too. Okay. Trying not to leave any fuzzies in there. Oh, I need some drink. This is the color changing cup I showed off earlier that I got at the indie shop for free from 1850 artisan polish. I love their polish, but the cup is cool. It goes from blue to purple. Purple when it's cold, blue when it's warm. Rounded brushes are my preference. And this brand does not have rounded brushes, right? They're kind of squared off. They're not bad. They're just, you have to kind of go around the cuticle a little bit differently to get an even line. At least they're a little wider, so they're not as tricky as like the old Essie brush, right? Or the old China Glaze brush, where they were really long and relatively thin. Okay, let's go over to this hand. Don't forget to scooch the camera. No, I still haven't figured out chat commands and things. I don't know how, it's not super necessary to me, I don't think. I'm just streaming to hang out, so that if you want to watch me paint my nails, you can. I do enjoy things like the dragon that Praise has on her channel and stuff like that, but I don't know if you guys really care. Let me know if you care. I'm trying to figure it out if you care. There is something uneven on my nail there, and that's gonna mess up the powder that goes over it because it's gonna make a lump, which is gonna change the multichrome effect. So I am going to get this, my little nail file, and I'm gonna do that to try to scrape off whatever is stuck in there. And then I'm going to go over it with the polish again and smooth it out because there's like a fuzzy or something in there. Nope, it's still there. It must be something like actually on my nail. There, I fixed it. No more lump. Hi, thank you for the follow. My following, oh no, that's not appropriate at all. I would appreciate not any of that. Thank you. I don't appreciate stuff like that. I don't know why anyone thinks it's funny or okay. Although, they say that the first troll you get in chat is a relative success, I guess, because it means that someone noticed that you were streaming. I apologize to anyone else who happens to be in chat or watching for his behavior. This is, you could not try to make this not a one coat polish. Like, if you were to try really hard to make it not one coat, it would be really hard. Oh, hey Lexi, I haven't been going that long. I'm just doing base color. I decided that we're gonna do a dark gray instead of a straight black underneath it. Here, let me show you the little tests. Okay, so I did a couple over black right before I started stream again, and then I did the dark gray, and I liked the dark gray. It wasn't quite as harsh, but it still gave the pop of the colors. So that's what we're gonna do. It's painted polish stamped in charcoal. How did the dog bath go, or did you not do that yet? Praise, I need to make you a mod. I don't know how to make you a mod. Because then I would have had you ban that guy instead of me having to try to type with wet nails. Oh, good. What kind of pepper do you have? Oh, cute. Okay. And what's her name? You might have told me already. I don't remember. Okay. Well, obviously, we're going to clean up after stamping. I think the base color needs a little bit longer to dry since we're doing the chrome, and we really want to make sure that the part that's not design won't stick. We can prep the stamper though. We're using the thumb first, so we're going to use the big stamper first. Uh-oh, where's the cap? Oh, it's over here. Zoya! I approve. That's cute. Like, it's very obvious to nail polish people that it's a nail polish name, and that's great, but it's not like you know, like if you named a dog Sinful Colors or something, you know, that would just be stupid sounding to people who didn't know about nail polish. Where did I put the cap of my acetone too? I should probably close this. It's just this giant jug sitting on my lap. Okay. Oh! Well, it's a cool, awesome coincidence then. Both of my pets, I changed their names after I adopted them. Ember was Ellen, and then now she's Ember. And Char was Diamond, which didn't fit her personality at all. So now she's Char. Okay, this lengthwise is larger than my nails. So we're going to start, we're going to try to start at the edge and go to around there. Right there. Self. Okay, so let's get, I have to be really careful with these because I don't want to get the powder that's like around onto the base of my nail. So the fallout is dangerous, just like a nuclear site. I did some tests where I did not go in with the tape in between, and they came out okay. Oh no, I banged my nail. Look at this. That's what I get. That's what I get for rushing and not waiting for this hand to be dry before I just start trying to do something else. That is going to make a ridge in the chrome, I think. I'm going to have to wait until it dries a little bit, and then I'm going to press it down. Do you see that little ridge there where I banged it? Honey. That's a cute name too, though. Okay, so then Rainforest. Yeah, I went in without the tape in between, and it was okay. I changed the direction of the sponge so that the edge that is a little flatter was toward the new edge, and it helped me not have to go back in with the tape. And dragon. And sunset. Okay, I think that that's the right width. Oop, I just went over some of the dragon on accident. Let's reestablish its area. Okay, so then we're gonna go in. I've got my little rainbow spreadable area there. Do you see that? But that's the size of the smaller nail, so I'm gonna go in with a different one for this big area. I'll make sure it's all buffed. Okay, let's see. This is dry. Okay, we're gonna go for it. Okay, so we're lining up the angle of the stamper with the angle of the things, like so. That's a little crooked. Oh no, it's only because part of it didn't transfer. Okay, and then we're going to come on here and we're going to try to get the angle straight. No, it is crooked. Because it's supposed to be this way, and the stripes are not straight. We're going to do that again. Because I jacked that up. Grumble, 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 grumble. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, cats don't respond to their names the same way that dogs do, you know? I think it's easier to change a cat's name than a dog's name. Neither of my cats really responds to their given name anyway. Ember responds to Big Cat and Boogs Woody, and Char responds to Baby Cat most often. I'm getting rid of that bump. I'm licking my finger and then going over it to smooth it out. It looks pretty good. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm actually going to go a little wider in with this first blue, because I think having the start of the design further into the stamper will be easier, because then lining up the very edge of the stamping head on the cuticle of the nail area. Applying. Oh, I don't have my sound on. I'm missing any notifications that I would be getting if I had notifications. That's why I missed that stupid person earlier following before they started posting all those horrible things. And then sunset. Okay, I'm going to reestablish some of the ocean because it got covered up a little bit on that edge. Like I said, I am extending the edge a little bit more. Get the rainforest back in there. Okay, gotta clean the stamping plate. Okay, so we're lining up the stripes. I did a better job of it that time. And then we're trying to line up the stripes again this way. Okay. I think that was relatively successful. Now we just need to buff off the excess with a cotton ball, not one that has been covered in acetone, of course. There. I think that looks pretty good. I need to bring the zoom in closer. Give me 2 shakes. Okay, it goes from the blue all the way through to the red. The blue, there could be a little bit more of the oceany blue. There's only one little piece of it on the very end of the nail. But I'm not mad. We're going to continue to the next nail and hopefully just improve as we go. Love you. Okay. Same deal. Clean off the stamping plate. I got my cotton up here, my swabs. Okay. So the other nails are smaller. We're not ready to do this thumb yet. It's not dry enough. Otherwise, I would just leave this one open and use it again. But we're doing the smaller nails next. So we're going to use the smaller stamping head because, as you can see, it lines up pretty perfectly with the sides of my nail. So we're going to do that. Help with sizing. Obviously, with the pinky, we're going to have to adjust a little bit. But that's okay, you know, we can adjust a little bit. Oops, oh goodness, I just yeeted that into nowhere. So we're getting a new Absinthe sponge. Because I'm not going to go digging down on the floor for the sponge that decided it wanted to die. This needs to be a little bit wider. And oh, I guess that was also the blue sponge. This one also is a blue sponge. We're repurposing the original blue sponge for its original purpose. And then dragon. And sunset. Oh, I forgot to bring my focus back down here. So you're trying to see things that aren't in focus. I'm sorry, guys. There. That's sponge height focus. It's not quite in focus for the stamping plate, but that's okay. You can live, right? We're keeping the same lineup, right? That pickup is okay, except all of the stuff in the blue is ruined because I was too close to the edge. We're going to do that again. I waited too long to stamp it, and then when I did it, I didn't roll straight across. I pushed weirdly because I wanted to, I don't know. I just screwed it up. That's okay, I can try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay. Ocean. Rainforest. See, there's a lot of ocean over the rest of that. I wonder if that will mess it up. I want to make sure that the blue doesn't get lost on this edge. Absinthe. Dragon. And sunset. Okay. I'm gonna make sure they line up. Okay, that's buffed on nicely, except for the sunset got lost a little bit, so we're gonna redo that a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna get those out of the way. And we're gonna do this again. I jacked that one up too a little bit. Unless it's, I don't know. I'm gonna take this off so I can see. No. I just think it's not wide enough for my nail. I stamped it off center. I'm actually just gonna take this stamper head out. It can sit on the side because I want to be able to see better on the little one. Again, I waited too long, and it's because I couldn't see the angle of the stripes, and I was nervous about it. Confidence. Confidence and surety will aid me in this particular nail art. Trusting myself and not hesitating. Gotta get all of the bits and not dip into the wrong powder with the wrong sponge. Okay, that looks awesome. Oh, I didn't clean the stamping plate. Okay. Hopefully being able to see into the end of this will help me not hesitate so much. Okay. Oops, there's a lid on there. That's okay. I'll take it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it blue to the cuticle and stamp. Okay. I don't think I got as much sunset on the tip as I wanted. No, I didn't get any sunset, but I got a lot more blue. I should have erred the other direction. That's okay. Like, I'm not mad at it. It's got the effect that I want. That's okay. I'll be okay. Let's buff off the excess. You can see how it just goes through the dragon. It doesn't have any of the other sunset color. I think I might see if I can get a little bit of sunset on the tip there with the sponge over the top of the other powder. Let's see if I can adjust it that way. Just right on the tip. There's a little bit of a ding in that line. I'm gonna be really picky, and I'm gonna go in and add a little daub, and I'm gonna add this line here like that, and I'm gonna wait just a minute, and we're going to add some pigments in where those pigments were missing. I'm gonna add blue on the thumb too. Okay, so it's gonna be the sunset powder right on the tip. And the dragon powder up here. And the ocean color down here. Look, you can apply it on the regular polish, but it just wipes right off. Okay. Did that work? No. How about this one? Did we get any blue at the base? Not really. I think you'd have to just apply it and then put top coat on right after. Right, like you could do like that, right, and then put your top coat on right then. That's okay. All right, let's clean off the stamper. Okay. Let's try the next nail. Ocean, Rainforest. You know what? I am gonna clean off some of that ocean with a something. Where's my tape? Because look, it's going over a big old swath of the nail that it doesn't belong on. Okay, Rainforest. Oh no, I'm holding it the wrong direction. I'm covering way more of the surface of this than I wanted to. Dun, 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 some of the rainforest got covered up. Okay, and then we got the dragon. And sunset. Okay. And we change the direction of the rainbow so that it matches what we want on the sponge. And then we get this and this and this and this. All right, that's a better pickup. We're going to turn the rainbow this way. We're going on our middle nail and stamp. Okay. We got all of the colors on there. So that's good. Now we got to see how well the pattern stayed. I think there's a couple spots on the side that are missing. Yeah, look at that. It didn't transfer. It didn't transfer. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a patch over there too. Where's that little brush? Got some missing areas. Okay, so we got some dragon. And we got some rainforest. Oh, that's a lot. I didn't want that much powder on my brush, my dude. And over here, some absinthe. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's better than a big bare spot. Let me bring the focus up again so that I can show you. Do you see there on the side? It's not a big bare spot anymore. so it's better. Not perfect, but better. Okay. I pushed it on the tape so hard that it just pulled it out of the stamper. That's not helpful. It doesn't want to stay in. There we go. I'm gonna have to use tape again. This ocean powder wants to take over the world a little bit. Rainforest. Absinthe. Do you see the little buffing area? It's a little rainbow. Dragon. And sunset. Stop falling over. Good, good pickup. Good transfer. Yes, very good. No bald areas. Success! And we got all of the colors on the nail. From one end to the other. You guys are not in focus when I bring it up like that. Alright. Very cool. Okay, let's clean off the stamping plate as well. Okay. Back to ocean. Sorry, I think I banged into the stem of this thing. This is the pinky, right? So it's a little smaller. So we need to keep that in mind with our color arrangement. Keeping the stripes thinner. Let's get a different edge since this is smaller. That's looking okay. Scrape. And stamp. That's looking okay. All right, success. We got all the colors on the pinky. There's one little area that got bopped out right across the middle there where there's some dragon that needs to be filled in, but we can do that really quick. What color did we say that was, dragon? Yeah. The light's not catching it quite properly. It looks really cool. That one little spot. It still needs some love. Okay, we're going to clean up and top coat this hand before we do the rest because I don't want to blang into anything. Let's clean off this stamper though. And put it out of the way. And clean off the stamping plate as well, just so that it's ready to go when we're ready to go. Okay. Cleanup brush. Where did I put you, my friend? This is the brush that I was using earlier to try to apply the pigment, and it is not straight enough for cleanup. Oh, where did I put the cleanup brush? The good one. I guess we're going to use this one after I trim off a couple of stray hairs. Yay, I'm glad, Lexi. There's a couple of extra little side hairs on this brush that are going to get in the way for cleanup, so I'm just going to trim them off. Okay. I did not do a latex barrier around my skin for these, and I don't know how the powder is going to remove from my skin. I'm feeling like I might have to wash my hands to get rid of the last of it. This is gray rather than black though, so that will be a little easier to get out of my cuticle. It is, however, a stamping polish with high opacity, so that is not going to help. I'm feeling like I might need some Q-tips over here to help absorb rather than spread some of this stuff. Because there's nothing worse than having beautiful nails and kind of scrummy cuticles. Boy, does that, I mean, that's just kind of limp. Okay, Q-tips it is. Yeah. I don't want to wait for liquid latex to dry. On the other hand, I was like considering, should I for the next hand or should I not? But I think most of this cleanup difficulty is not from the powder, it's from the base color because it's so pigmented. I think I'm just gonna have to accept my losses a little bit and just clean up as much as I can now and then really scrub and get the rest out with soap. Like this whole side where there's some dry skin, you guys can't see that, but it has a lot of, do you see that? The polish that's stuck into the rough skin there. It's not the prettiest, but we'll deal with it for now. And it's not going to mess up top coat. In fact, putting top coat over it and then scooping the cuticle out of the side area there is going to help us get rid of it, I would guess. Okay. Getting all of this. And of course we're worrying about making the shape on the nail straight and clean around the cuticle. We're not just getting the polish off the skin, we're making the nail look nice. There's a job for a Q-tip under there. As I've said many, many times, cleanup is half the battle. And that's why when there's a stubborn polish like this, it makes me a little bit grumpy. Because it wants to win the battle. Gotta stretch. Thank you, Praise. Alright. Okay. Aside from skin glugs, that nail's good. Okay. Oh, I can feel myself hunching slightly. Okay, good night, Lexi. Thanks for hanging out. I always appreciate you. Come all the way around. Yeah, the skin is the struggle here. Getting all of the dark off of it without leaving a cast of the dark behind. But it will come off when I wash my hands. Okay. Okay, let's make sure that we don't have any excess powder hanging out. Oh, gotta stretch again. Hunching is not good. It's not good. Okay, let's get our top coat. We're going to very lightly float. We don't want to smear our design. All right, that looks pretty awesome. It makes it pop. You can see the colors standing out better. Good, good, yes. Do like. Okay, gotta make sure we're not letting it sit super much in the cuticle though. Okay, second nail. I know that you guys are not in focus, and I apologize. I got such a dark little corner there. I really am going to have to go in with lots of cleanup again after top coat. Really make sure we're getting rid of all this dark gray, whatever. Very much floating the brush. Very much not smearing the design. That addition on the edge there turned out pretty good. I am glad that I did not file my nails before I did this design, because I have enough room for all of the colors. If I had filed them, I don't think I would have had enough room for all of the colors. Okay. Okay. Looking okay, looking okay. That nail is the most successful of all of them. It didn't have any touch-ups. And it still has a couple of little areas that were not 100% perfectly smooth, but good, good. And pinky. We're gonna save the cleanup after top coat until after we do our other hand and top coat our other hand, so that we're doing this cleanup while we're waiting for that top coat to set. We're gonna be leaving this glossy, I think, because that accentuates the multi-chrome element. And I'm going to wait for just a minute before I start my other hand, because I don't want that pinky to be wet and collecting powder. So let's close our top coat because we're not going to be using it for a while. And take a drink. My drink is mostly warm now, if you couldn't tell. It's been sitting under the light, and the cup is no longer purple where the drink is. I mean, a little bit. It's not completely room temperature. The color change is much less dramatic than it was. Okay. While we're waiting for this to dry a little bit, I'm gonna bring the focus up here so that you guys can see it better. Blue rainforest all the way through. Doo -doo. Doo -doo. Doo -doo. Like I said, obviously the skin still needs cleanup, but that will get done afterward. Okay. There's a something in my top coat on my thumb. I don't think it's anything to worry about though. And it's almost dry enough to trust with other pigments around it. Okay, so here's the plain nails. Whoops, let's bring that focus back down here. Here's the colored nails and then the base without the color. These are about to become like these. Yay. Okay. Brush up here, up here. And get our stamper. Again, we're going to use the big head for the thumb. that's the one we're doing first. And by big, I mean bigger head of the little stamper that we're using. This is one of the ones from What's Up Nails. My computer tray is sliding. Stay. Okay. Love you. Okay, so we're going to be keeping the edge colors the widest, because those are the ones that are most likely to not be included on the nail if I off-center my stamp slightly. And then the other colors, you know, are still going to be there pretty generously. They're not just going to be like super skinny like on the pinky. But we don't want it to be so wide that it fills up the entire stamper, because my nail's not that long. My nail's not long enough for the whole stamper to cover. Right, so we want the red element to be within the length of where my nail will be. Right here. If we bring it too far down to the tip, like if we only started the red like right on the edge, it would not show up on my nail. There's a little bit of something. Oops, that's the wrong color. That got in the row there. We need the ocean again. Reassert yourself. Okay, and then we're going to use a new side of this to help us blend. We need a little bit more of the absinthe right here where the dragon tried to take over. And then some rainforest. Okay. There. That looks relatively well balanced. And scrape. That's not straight. But it's straight enough that I could get away with it, I think. Okay. The edge there didn't go all the way. We're going to have to do a bit of patching there. Let's get our clean cotton. You see right there on that edge? I don't think you can see it super well. But we did get our blue all the way through the end color, so that's good. We just need to add a little stripe here. And the place where we had that smudge earlier did not really mess up any of the design, so that's good. It's a little bit of a denser part of the image. That's interesting. But it doesn't look like outlandishly crooked, so I'm alright with that. Let's get our brush. Yeah, a little bit of our polish, and we're adding right there and right there. Some of the dragon and some of the sunset. Dragon's gonna be on this side and right there, and sunset is gonna be right there. I'll wait for the base color that I added to dry a little bit before I buff that all the way off. Alright, let's clean off the stamper. And now that that thumbnail is done, we're going to move back to using the little side. I'm just going to remove that big head and put it off to the side again so that I can see down through the center better. Alright, ocean sponge. Rainforest sponge. And Absinthe sponge. And dragon sponge. And sunset sponge. All right. Let's reestablish a little bit of the sunset. Make sure we get enough red there on the tip. Okay. We have to clean our stamping plate. Which I know is slightly out of focus. And then I'm going to keep this angled that way. Oh, wow, that's really crooked. I did not do that properly. I'm going to try that again. That's what I get for having striped colors trying to apply to stripes. I'm going to clean off that edge with a little bit of tape. So we don't need that much overspray of the ocean. Spray. We don't need that much overspray of the rainforest either, although that's less funny to say. My sponge is just being more spoogey. I'm just tapping it off with a little piece of tape. Maybe there's just more on my sponge. But all of these colors this round are being a little bit pesky that way. The dragon one is the only one that has this other end of the sponge. That's not a thinner corner. That's okay. It's working. I just have to kind of think about it at a little bit of a different angle than some of the other ones. Okay. Alright. Let's clean off the thing again. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Let's make sure this is clean. Alright, going this way. Is that straight? Yes, it's straight enough. Okay, so then we're coming up here, making sure this stupid nail is not covered in junk. And stamping. Alright, we're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup on that middle stripe. There's a spot missing. But not a huge amount. Let's go back to this snail and buff off the excess on that corner. That's doing okay. And then on this snail, yeah, we've got a little bit right there that needs to be filled in. And a little bit right there, but that's not a lot. It's doable. So that's going to be dragon, and this is going to be Rainforest or Absinthe. I think we're going to go for Rainforest to help it blend. Since it's at the top of the row. Okay, we'll come back and buff that in a minute. Cleaning off the brush and acetone and make sure it's not dirty. Clean off the stamping plate. This would be faster if I was using cotton balls and my little claw thingy, but that's not what I have out. Good. Less overspray this time. A little does go a long way. People have said that about nail powders to me. And now that I'm using them, I know exactly what they mean. Like, I imagined what that would mean. And yeah, it definitely is true. I overshot that corner. Let's take some off. Okay, that looks good. Good. This one is just the same length. Oh no, that pickup is not clean on the end there. What happened? Hang on. Let's see if some of that's just excess. No. The end part didn't pick up. That looks not good. Do you see that whole weird edge bit there where it's all kind of blobby together? I might redo this snail. Yeah, I'm going to redo this snail. I'm just going to paint gray over it and wait and then stamp it again later in a bit. This gray is really opaque. It's going to cover in one coat. Really quick and easy. We'll just have to wait a little bit for it to dry. The patch on this nail turned out okay though. You can see that the missing spots are filled in, or at least I hope you can see that. The way that these reflect makes it really difficult to see any imperfections, which I guess is a positive. Okay. Make sure I'm not hitting that nail into cotton and stuff. Okay. Okay. I wonder who was the first person to stamp with nail powders. Innovation is always really neat to see. People doing new things. And, you know, it helps inspire creativity in other people. I don't know, I guess it's fun not to create in a vacuum. To have other people to inspire you and for you to inspire other people. There's a big excess chunk there that did not need to be. Okay. This one's going to be for the ring nail because we're still waiting for that middle nail to dry a little bit because we don't want the excess powder to stick right to the polish. That did not pick up well on that middle spot. And there's a big streak. Would that side be big enough for the pinky? No, we're not going to be able to save it. That's, I think, the most frustrating thing when you're doing nail art is when you try to do something and it doesn't turn out, so then you try to do it again and then it doesn't turn out. And then you try to do it again, and it doesn't turn out. And it takes a little while before finally it does work. And obviously, the end result is cool and worth it, and the process itself is fun, but it's not completely seamless and smooth every time. Okay. There are errors and mistakes that are made along the way. I just finished listening to the Dune audiobook. I've read Dune, but it had been about 10 years or something since I read it the first time. And I had forgotten quite a bit of the details of the way that certain things happened. It's good to listen to it again. James said that they're making a Dune movie again. He read me a statement from the guy who's making it, who basically said, yeah, the 1980s film was, you know, I respect the guy who made it, and he's a good filmmaker, but I'm going to be taking my imagery from the book. Which is kind of a backhanded kind of a insult to his rendition back in the 80s. I have seen the 80s Dune. It is not good, in my opinion. It's a very poor adaptation of the book. Very unsatisfying in my experience. So I'm glad someone's making it again. I hope it doesn't suck this time. We'll see. We're looking at some of the casting choices that had been made for the movie, and some of them I really agreed with. The guy who they picked to be Duncan Idaho is not how I imagined Duncan Idaho. But the guy they picked to be Paul's pretty good. The guy that they picked to be Leto is really good. Jessica looks fine. Chaney looks fine. I mean, she's not like exactly how I imagined Chaney, but not outside of the description in the book. Alright, that pickup's a lot cleaner. Ooh, we didn't get very much of the sunset. We did get a little bit, but not as much. And we're missing some blue at the other end. I offset it slightly, apparently. This whole row of tape down here looks like an oil slick puddle pile. We're just gonna add a loop doing that. And put some blue on it. I apparently have to add some on the side here too. I'm gonna do Absinthe and Rainforest. And again, we'll come back and buff that off in a couple minutes. That middle part is not the cleanest either, but it's not bad. There's just a couple of areas I'm going to clean up the edge of. This right here. Oop, I took all the polish off the brush. That needs to be cleaner, and right there. I got some overbleed. I must not have scraped it as cleanly as I should have. There. That's okay. All right. Okay, so we got the pinky and the middle finger. We're going to do the pinky first, and then we'll do the middle finger, and then we'll do cleanup on this hand and top coat, and then second cleanup, and then second cleanup. You know, having multiple colors together actually makes it more difficult to see the multichrome shift. They just look like metallic because you're not seeing that one powder at multiple angles at a time. But that's okay, it still looks really awesome. Okay, let's get to powdering. Remember, the pinky is small, so we're doing less width of our stripes. Oh, well, that's the wrong color. Let's take that off with tape. I went back into the ocean color again with the Rainforest sponge. That is not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. Looking good, looking good. I keep forgetting that the sunset powder is on the same sponge on the other corner. Okay. So if we blend those very smoothly, that looks good. Good, okay. I did not jack up the pickup. Or the application. Yay! That looks good. Got all the colors on the nail. Excellent. That's like this one where there aren't any giant missing patches or anything, and I got all the colors on. Good. Alright, let's see. I don't think this is quite dry enough. I'm going to clean up on a couple of other nails before we apply the powder to that middle nail, just for safety's sake. I don't want to have to paint it again and wait for it to dry again, right? That would just be a doubly waste of time. actually what Colette was saying on Saturday in her nail stream. Rushing can actually make you spend more time on something because you end up making mistakes. You know, so you don't want to be rushing. Let's get all of these, put them in the trash. We don't need all of this used stuff. We also don't want the computer tray to be sliding. Okay. Okay. That's the second time I almost dipped it in my big empty cup instead of in my little acetone container. How silly. See how much my brush is picking up each time I swipe across here? It's such a highly pigmented polish. I did a little too much cleanup on the corner on this nail, but that's okay. On the first hand I did. That's okay. We're just not gonna call attention to it. That bump in the base color did make it through just a little bit in the chrome, so I'm just flattening that just a little bit. Swab. There's a lot on this hand that needs to just come off. Like I said, a lot of the powder will come off when I wash my hands afterward, but some of this is gray polish that's gotten down in between the ridges of my finger skin into my fingerprints. And it is a stubborn little beast. Okay, and then all this. Get all of this excess off so it doesn't just get spread around.
Huh? Oh, what?
Okay. This middle nail is going to have to get cleaned up again anyway, so I don't want to do too much cleanup on that one. Okay. Let's go in with the cleanup brush.
What?
Because of all this gray polish, you can see that I have a healing hangnail that has been slowly equalizing its layers there for about a month. And it's almost smooth again, but there's still just a little ridge where there's a slightly lower skin right next to my nail than the rest of the finger. And you would never know except for this very enthusiastic gray polish. Oh goodness, I didn't want to do that. Excuse me, nail. I bumped you without meaning to. Okay. I think I am going to do one little swoop there. And I need to add some green where I bumped it with the cotton ball. I accidentally took a little bit off right here. That's Rainforest and that's Absinthe. Okay, let's clean up on the pinky after we that last bit of excess there. And then we'll go do that middle nail. Okay. I did not cap the tip with the gray on the pinky very well. I have like none going around. Although I might have removed it with the Q-tip. Okay. I'm not getting any fingerprints left on that anymore, so I think we're ready to scrape. I need to clean off the edge of my scraper though. I get a nice clean scrape. Okay, and we have to prep our stamper, which is not ready yet. Rainforest. Sorry, I bumped into you guys. Can be a little bit wider. Gotta add some more to the rainforest stripe and make that a little bit wider as well. I'm still in pinky smallness mode, which is not what the ring finger needs. The ring finger is the longest finger. Let's reinforce the rainforest a little bit. And the ocean. There. That looks good. There's that. And that. And that. Good. And that. Alright, that's pretty good. We need to do a little bit of touch up right there on the tip, but that is a pretty good stamp. Which means we can put our stamper away and put this other stamper head back in. Lid on. There's the little lid. There it is. Okay, let's add that little bit of the sunset. I think the rest of that adhered properly. We gotta do a little bit of a brush off after the base powder is dry. Okay. Looks good. At least looks okay. Okay. I am going to add a little bit of gray right on this nail right here because I'm noticing a bit of bleeding. When I turned my nail this way, I could see the unsmooth edge and it was bothering me, and I knew it would bother me the rest of the week. So let's make sure we don't have any excess powder hanging around anywhere. It's blocking any patterns. I'm gonna add a little bit of gray right here. Make sure that this is smooth. Okay, let's do some cleanup on this middle nail, and then we can do top coat on this hand. And then we'll do cleanup secondary to get more of the grayness out. All of these beautiful colors on the skin have gray polish underneath them. It's not just the pigment powder that's on the skin there, it's also the polish. Okay, a little bit more. Oops, I didn't even get any acetone on that. Okay. Let's do some cleanup with a brush. Okay. Really making sure I'm getting all that gook out. A lot of this in the cuticle, and under like the eponychium. Just does not want to leave. It's like, this is my home now. I'm gonna live here forever. I would recommend latex barrier if you're gonna do this with such a pigmented stamping polish. I will definitely use latex barrier next time I do this. I just didn't think about it on the first hand, and then on the second hand I was already in the process and didn't want to wait. But it definitely would have helped with this cleanup. Okay. That is looking all right. Let's do some top coat. Oh, my big cat's here. Hey, big cat. He's such a pretty dog. Let's put this down so everybody can see your beautiful face. Okay, top coat. There's a little bit of blue that ended up here on the tip of this nail somehow. And it's too late to get it out. It's underneath the top coat. Can you see it right there? Just on the very tip? I don't think you can. The camera doesn't want to pick this up really well. I think with the dark and the reflective. Aside from that one little spot, this nail looks pretty good. It has the colors scooched up toward the tip a little bit more than this one. It's got more blue and less red, and this one has more red and less blue, but not unreasonably balanced. I don't think either one is super, like, off, quote unquote. Oh no. I bumped this nail into this cord a little bit, but I was able to smooth it out without it getting messed up. Thankfully, the top coat had mostly set enough that I was able to just kind of smooth it back down. Thank you, Glisten Glow. And thank you, God, who gives us all good things. Obviously, we're going in for more cleanup after the top coat sets. That's what we're doing on this hand as soon as this hand is done with basic cleanup, or with basic top coat. Okay. And we got some gray sneaking onto that thumb again. Okay. And that is it for top coat. Let's go over to our first hand and do cleanup again. Hey, big one. You're a big sweet friend. Before I do cleanup on this hand, I'm gonna pet the big cat. Because she's a good girl. She's a good friend. And for some reason, everything over here is really orange. Are you making everything orange, big cat? Are you too orange? Okay. So, both hands decorated. And they don't look too bad down here, but there's definitely more cleanup to be done. So I'm going to bring the camera down here. We're not doing any more stamping. Okay. And we're going to bring the lights with us, right, so that you can see. And we're going to do cleanup. A lot of this is going to have to come off when I wash my hands. The stuff that's down in the skin, I'm going to have to get a nail brush and really scrub it. But I can get the excess top coat off and, you know, give it another pass with the acetone. It will help diminish things. Any super dark spots, I can really get my bristles in and try to scrub it a little bit now that the top coat is dry, and I don't have to worry as much about gouging into my design. Yeah. And that already is looking better. It's looking more cleaned up. This thumb is, I think, one of the hardest because it has some healing hangnails where the skin really allowed more to get kind of caught because there's some unevenness there. But these nails are looking pretty good. There's other stuff on my hand, that, like powder and stuff, that needs to come off when I wash my hands, though. Let me bring the focus forward a little bit. I think we're too far down, yeah. Good, good, yes, good. I'm pretty pleased with that. That looks good to me. I'm gonna enjoy these, I think, this week. Obviously, this hand has not had as long to set with the top coat as the first hand, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful along the edges. I'm not going to push with my brush quite so much because I want to protect the design from getting gouged if the top coat is not fully set. But I can press down against my skin more. Wow, that's really dark in there, huh? and get as much as I can. Oops. See, it is dry enough to prevent it from getting ruined, though, if I bang it into something. I'm going to round this just a little bit on this nail, on this corner, to make it more consistent with my other hand in shape, even though it's slightly further away from the cuticle area. There. See, that's a little more symmetrical. I think you can see that that's a little bit more symmetrical. There. Okay. Making sure this cuticle line is clean. There's a little dip out there that I want to round. Okay, that looks good. Oh, a big cat yawn. We got lots of yawns. Hi, quiet kitty. I am doing multichrome stamping. I was using these multichrome powders over here from What's Up Nails. We applied them to, pardon me, we applied them to my little stamper head in a kind of a striped pattern, and then stamped using this stamping plate from Lina called Make Your Mark 06. Applied the stamp to our nails, and we're almost done with cleanup. I have 2 nails left of cleanup, and then we're going to be done with stream. How are you doing tonight? Or this morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. This is acetone on a little brush. We're just doing, removing excess top coat and excess of the gray polish that really doesn't want to go away because it's very pigmented. Let me bring you back over here. Are you into nail art? that's gonna have to come off when I wash my hands. Mostly nail art streams. I don't think I've streamed anything else. I was kind of convinced into doing nail art streams by my friend Colette, who does nail art and video game streams, and by my sister, who does art. She does plushie sewing, and she makes leather-bound books, and digital art, and drawing and painting and stuff. Awesome. Yep, that's what I do. Okay, so a lot of this powder stuff on my hands is just going to have to come off when I wash my hands later. I got most of the gray out of the cuticles, except for those couple places where there were like leftover hangnails that were healing, where I'm just going to have to scrub with a nail brush. So let me bring you in close. Focus, please. There we go. There. Okay, so we've got Multichrome. Each of these powders goes from, you know, there's each shifting on their own, and then we have a rainbow of them across the nail as well. So this one, I'll show you as I'm closing them. This one is called the Ocean one, the Ocean powder. It goes from a sort of a cerulean blue all the way through to like a deep purple color when it's buffed onto things. If you go back and watch the VOD later. Thank you. It's hard to see because of the hollow on the lid. But it gets much more purple on the edge. This one is the Rainforest powder. It goes from like a really cool toned green through to a teal to a blue. So when you're looking at the nail, right, it's got the Ocean powder and then the Rainforest powder, and then the next one is called Absinthe. It's like a green, more of a yellow toned green, and it goes through a cool toned green to a tealy blue. And then this one is the Dragon powder. It goes from a sort of a copper color. When it's on the nail, there's a little bit of a pinkish tone to the copper at certain angles. It's this second from the last color. All the way through to a greenish color. Sorry, I'm super washed out. And then the last one is called Sunset, and it is the one on the tips. Let me see. Where it's got like a reddish orange to yellow sort of a shift. And I used painted polish stamped in charcoal as my base color. So it's not actually over a black, but it gives the impression of a dark black base without it being quite so harsh. Yeah, it is. It is nice. You know, if you're curious, I can buff some onto the stamper so that you can see the color shift a little bit better. Would you like me to? I would be willing to do that and show you. I've just been using little latex sponges to apply it. Here, I'll show you Dragon. I'm just kind of buffing it on to the stamper head like that, right? And then you stamp over top. Okay, so this one has the, let me back the focus out actually a little bit so that you can see it a little better. Okay, So at this angle, right, it looks mostly green and you can see some blue, and then when you shift it this way, you've got more of that coppery pink sort of a tone, right? And it shifts between the two. Copper pink with the gold, and then down to like a greenish bluish on the other end. Right? Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then I've just got a little piece of tape down here that I'm using to clean off the stamper head. Okay, so that one was dragon. And then we'll do sunset, since that's closer and I have the sponge with it already here. And then the sunset, like I said, goes from like a reddish, it goes from a red with a pink tone down through a red to an orange to a copper to a gold. Okay, so this one, do you see there's the reddish pinkish tone, right? And then if you shift it that way, then you get the copper with the goldish green. Pinkish reddish, copperish, goldish, greenish, right? Okay, that one is the sunset one. These are brand new to me, by the way. I just got them yesterday and I've never used them before, so I'm kind of enjoying playing around with them. Okay, and then let's do, this one is Absinthe. It's got a yellow toned green that shifts through teal to blue. So there's the yellow toned green, right? And then it shifts down to a blue with like a little bit of, you know, there's teal in between, right? It's not all the way to purple, but it's like a cool toned blue on the other end of it. So yellowish green through teal to blue to purplish blue. Yeah. Okay. And then the Rainforest one is also green, but it is a cool toned green, so it's more blue. Yeah. And it more of a blue toned green rather than a yellow toned green, and it goes through blue all the way to a more purple on the far edge. Okay. So there's the tealish green, right? And then it goes all the way down to like a purple with the blue in between, right? There's the green, and then blue, and all the way down to purple. I like this one a lot. I like teals and greens. It can go a little bit to a yellow tone green on the very far end this way, but it's not as readily apparent as the other side of the shift. And then the last one is called Ocean, and it is the one that's blue, and it goes all the way through purple to like a magenta pinky purple. And that's the one that I have near the cuticle on my nails. So together they all kind of make a rainbow, right? One of them goes from red, orange, gold, then the next one goes, you know, gold, green, gold, copperish green, right? And then the next one is green, teal, blue, and then the next one, no, pardon me, green, yeah, green, teal, blue, and then the next one is green, teal, blue, purple with a different shift. Okay, there is the blue, right? And then it shifts through purple all the way down to like a magenta color. There's like a gold on the very far end of the shift, but it's not super apparent. Right, and then this finishes the rainbow. And that's why I thought to myself, actually Lexi in my chat was like, what would happen if you tried to ombre them all together? So then we tried it, and here we are. Oh, my big cat's being so sweet. Look at she being cuddly. Hey, big one. She's purring. The ocean one? Yeah. It's really pretty. They have more colors even, obviously, than the ones I got. What's Up Nails, they have more varieties of multichrome powders. They have some that are more pinkish, that I was not interested in, and some that are more purple, that I decided not to get. So these ones were just my faves. Yeah, she's such a sweet kitty. She hangs out with me pretty often. She's my little, she's not really a lap cat, but a sitting next to your shoulder so that she can be touching you next to you kind of cat. She's cute. All right, I'm gonna cut stream. I think I have Colette on to host. I think she's still on. Yes, she is. Colette does nail art too. If you're interested in nail art stuff, you should follow her. And if you're not already following me, you should follow me. I think right now she's doing a game, though. She's playing Hollow Knight, which is a cute platformer. If you like cute stuff, you're probably going to like the characters and stuff. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. If I had more to do, I would stay on and hang out with you, but I'm done and I need to go do some other stuff this evening. So thank you, and hopefully I'll see you later.